Welcome to the Double E Show. Bad strategy, horribly simulated. What's going on, everybody? Jibba73 back with the Double E Show. It's Lamplight City. Welcome back, everybody. When we left off last week, we had talked to the tailor, who was kind enough to give us her brother, Miss Carter's address. So we, or Miss Walker's address, excuse me. I don't know why I said Carter. Linda Walker, that's why. Linda Carter, Wonder Woman. Anyways, I digress. And he gave us her address, so we are going to head to the Walker residence right now. So, we look around, we got a water heater out here.
Some people would call that humming and hissing the sound of progress. I'd call it annoying.
Right? So that's the water heater. Okay. We got a boiler over here.
This machine is quiet. It's already gone up considerably in my estimation.
You could learn a thing or two from it, Bill.
Right. Okay.
It says here that Linda Walker is in the upstairs apartment, and someone named Douglas Emafiel is under the stairs.
All right.
Nobody home. Now what?
Well, let's knock on the downstairs neighbor.
What? Who are you? Are you from the Steamworks?
Afraid not, sir.
Damn. Oh well, what can I do for you?
Do you know Linda Walker?
Of course. She lives upstairs. Who's asking?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm trying to find Linda so I can speak with her.
What's your business with her?
I'm afraid that's private.
Well, she's out right now. You'll have to come back another time if you want to visit her.
Okay.
Have you got any idea when Mrs. Walker will be back?
Not for a few days. She told me she was going away for a bit. Ah, that reminds me. She asked me to water her plants while she was gone. Just need to remember where I put the spare key.
Okay.
Did you say something about having a spare key to Mrs. Walker's apartment?
Sure, I'm her landlord. I look after the place when she's gone. Got a bit of a green thumb, that one, so she puts me in charge of watering her plants. The trip up is a bit of a pain, though. My hips aren't what they used to be.
Okay.
I'm a private detective, and it's of the utmost importance that I get that key from you.
Right. Private detective. I don't have to do anything you say. You're not really the law. So, nice try. But I'm not betraying Mrs. Walker's trust so easily.
Okay.
He says that now, but I'm willing to bet he'd do it if it benefited him in some way.
Why did you think I was from the Steamworks?
Because I contacted them a few days ago when my boiler broke, and nobody has come to repair it yet. I should have known better. Those fools always take their time, if they even bother showing up at all. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in here with nothing but cold water. If I catch pneumonia and die, you'll know who to blame.
Sorry to bother you, sir. I'll just be on my way.
Okay.
Miles, what are you doing? You don't know the first thing about steam engine repair.
It can't be that hard to work out.
If you're serious about getting it fixed, I'd suggest looking for someone who knows about this sort of thing first. But if you just want to charge in blindly, be my guest.
True. Alright, so let's exit this. See if Addie knows anybody.
I'm here.
Hello, Miles.
Okay, let's look at the newspaper real quick. Let's see if there's anything new. Pre-scandal shocks, Gascon Society, protests at airship yard continue, Prime Minister's re-election campaign intensifies, sabotage blamed for brewery explosion. Cool. Alright, let's talk to Adelaide.
Addie?
What do you need, dear?
Well, yeah, let's first talk about the Spectre Society.
Have you ever heard of a group called the Spectre Society?
I think I had a client once who mentioned it. They're some kind of spiritualist group, right?
So it would seem.
I don't really know anything else about them, sorry.
Okay.
Addie, you wouldn't happen to have any manuals on repairing steam engines in your library, would you?
Thinking of changing careers?
No, there's just a boiler that needs repairing and I need to figure out how to do it.
A boiler? What kind of engine is it?
I'm not sure, but it had Whitney 200 embossed on the side.
Oh, of course. That's one of the most common steam engines around, used in practically everything. In fact, the player piano at the Firkin and Fryer had one, and that thing was always going out of alignment. If that's all that's happened with this one, I know how to fix it. Used to have to do it all the time.
Adelaide Fordham, you are just full of surprises.
Where is this boiler?
Not terribly far. It's a townhouse on St. Agnes in Livingston.
Let's go then. I could use some fresh air.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not quite a player piano, but it shouldn't be too tough. Would you like me to walk you through it, or would you prefer I fix it myself?
Yeah.
I think I'll let you handle it, dearest. Machine repair isn't my specialty.
All right, let me have a look. Just as I thought. It's out of alignment. This will only take a moment. There, just like the old days.
Thank you for your help, dear.
You're welcome. Boilers are a lot like people, you know. Let too much pressure build up inside them, and an explosion becomes inevitable. You do well to remember that, dearest. Now, I have to be getting to my appointment with Mrs. Lapone. See you tonight.
Very cool. Well, now that's repaired. Let's see if the landlord...
Yes? What is it?
I fixed the boiler for you.
What? Are you serious? It's pretty pathetic when some yahoo off the street does a better job than the people paid to do this sort of thing. I owe you, friend.
Might I take you up on that offer and get that spare key to the apartment?
Oh, right. You said you were a private detective, didn't you? Did Mrs. Walker do something wrong? Is she in trouble?
I'm not entirely sure yet, which is why I need to take a look inside her apartment.
I see. Well, I wouldn't normally do this, but you did me a great service by fixing the boiler. I can't just give you the spare key, but I can let you into the apartment.
That'll be just fine. Thank you.
What in the ether?
It's a sty.
Cripes, did a tornado come through this place or what?
Right?
Looks as though she definitely left in a hurry. I wonder if she planned on ever coming back.
I'll be waiting for you in the kitchen, Mr. Fordham. Just let me know when you're done looking around.
Okay, so what do we got? We got a wardrobe. Right? Trash pile. Books. Wallpaper bulge, like something stored there. Painting. Daguerreotype. I don't know what that is. Okay, sewing machine, sewing patterns. Okay. Over here we got plants, notes.
Torn apart. She took most everything. Well, it doesn't appear she had much to take.
Okay.
I thought my apartment was messy. And the books she left behind are all trashy romance novels. Why wouldn't she take those? They're clearly the best ones. That bit of torn wallpaper looks almost deliberate. What do you know? She hid a book behind the wallpaper. Looks like a journal.
I don't believe it. Can it be true? At tonight's meeting, I struck up a conversation with Henrietta Charles Harris. With Henrietta. Charles Harris was born the day Alexander died, and he has blue eyes. Most babies do when they're born. I know I shouldn't jump to conclusions, but this is too perfect to be a fluke. To be sure, I need to find something of Alexander's appropriate for an infant. Maybe his old bear. Charles loved Barney. Henrietta told me she's never seen him react with such joy to any of his other playthings. There is no doubt in my mind. Charles Harris is the reincarnation of my beloved Alexander. At last, we can be together again. At last, I can seek his forgiveness. I just need to find a way to take him from his false parents without getting dear Henrietta in trouble. I had that nightmare again last night. Alexander's cries of "Why did you do it, Mother?" were nearly too much to bear. When I have him again, I can finally explain that I didn't do anything to stop him. Or that I couldn't do anything to stop him. Thomas was a monster, and I was at my wit's end. Dear Samuel had helped me so much, and there was no turning back once he had consumed the tainted pie. Now, how was I to know Alexander's friend would take ill and he would arrive home early? Watching my boy share the poisoned meal with his father was the worst moment of my life. I must get him back. Finally, after months of thinking, I have a plan. Samuel's instruction on the nature of plants has been the key. I will visit Henrietta tonight at the Harris residence and prepare everything. It must look as though a burglar entered the nursery and tore his coat. In 2 nights, I'll have my baby again.
Well, this is pretty damn incriminating.
Yeah.
I'll say. Now we just need to figure out where she's gone, as well as how she managed to drug Mrs. Davis.
Right on.
Oh, we've got you now, Linda. Thought you could be clever and get away with the baby, did you?
Bill?
Well, you thought wrong. With Fordham and Legere on the case, the only thing you're getting is a one-way trip to jail.
Bill?
And the worst part is how sloppy she was. I mean, really, she couldn't think to pick up a button? She might as well have left a signed confession in the crib for all the good it did her.
Bill, would you just shut up, for God's sake? Huh? Is everything all right?
Yes, everything's just fine. I just stubbed my toe on the bed frame.
You ought to be more careful, Mr. Fordham.
Sorry, Miles. You know how I get when we're close to solving a case.
You always do this. I need to concentrate, and I can't hear myself think with you yapping away.
Right, sorry. I'll keep it to myself.
Thank you.
Okay.
But you have to admit, she really would have saved us the trouble if...
Bill.
Right. Not another peep. As you were.
Okay, let's finish this up.
Well, at least that painting cheers the place up a little bit. It's a boy. Can't be more than 7 or 8 years old. If that's Linda's son, why would she leave this behind?
Because she thinks she's got the real thing again.
Nice patterns. I wonder if Linda makes all her own clothes.
Right?
A fairly recent model. Linda must have spent a good portion of her wages on it.
Okay, and then let's look at these notes over here.
There's a handwritten note here. Valerian mixed with chamomile, sedative effects, deep sleep.
Seems Mrs. Walker's an amateur herbalist.
Maybe not so amateur. I'd love to see the look on Mrs. Davis's face if she knew it wasn't a spirit that possessed her. In fact, let's go tell her, so I can see it.
You've gotten fairly misanthropic in your death, Bill.
Have I? I hadn't noticed.
Okay, is that...
These will make great evidence in Linda's trial.
Okay.
These will make...
Yeah, can I take any of it? Is there anything?
I don't know about you, but I'm starting to have my fill of plants and flowers. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I think that might be it. Okay, so back out to here.
I hope you were able to find out what you needed.
Yes, thank you for your cooperation.
Okay, so we've pretty much pinpointed Linda as the culprit. Okay, so let's save the game real quick. So we'll save it there. And let's go ask Mrs. Davis about the night of the kidnapping.
Hello again, Mr. Fordham.
I have some questions for you, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
Mrs. Davis, where did you get the tea you drank on the night of the kidnapping?
From my own private supply. I drink a blend of hibiscus and elderberry. It clears the mind and puts me more in tune with the spirits.
Did it taste off to you?
No. Why do you ask?
Because I think your tea may have been drugged.
Wait, are you saying?
I believe Mrs. Walker used her own herbs to drug your tea, knowing you'd drink a cup the following evening. She then snuck into the house after you'd fallen asleep and took the child.
Oh, my word, I never would have thought.
I know, Mrs. Davis. But don't worry, I'm doing everything I can to find her.
Oh, may the spirits guide you, Mr. Fordham.
All right, so...
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Davis.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Okay.
Well, I'd say we have everything we need to prove it was Linda who drugged Mrs. Davis's tea and took the child. It would be ideal if we could find out where she's gone before reporting back to Upton, though.
Right? It would be. It would be.
I have some questions for you, Mrs.
Let's
Davis.
see.
All right.
Maybe we're going to go with suspects.
Can you think of anyone who would have wanted to take the child?
Well, I'm not one to gossip, but I am quite sensitive to the energy and vibrations that people give off. I get the impression that Mr. and Mrs. Harris aren't very happy in their marriage.
Ah, come on. Anyone could have picked up on that. Anyone except you, that is.
Mr. Harris likes to stay out late and not take his wife with him. I can't remember the last time they went out together. I don't know what he gets up to, but it's possible he may have made some enemies.
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Davis.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Okay, so it's out of sequence. I get it. Okay, let's go back out to the map. We're going to go to the coffee house, talk to Upton. We're going to quickly say, oh, before we do this, in case it happens to be wrong.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Can we go over my current case?
Of course. What have you got?
Okay.
I spoke with Henrietta Davis, the Harris family nanny.
A sensible place to start. What did she have to say?
She claims to have been unconscious when the kidnapping took place.
She must be an extremely heavy sleeper.
I don't believe so. The way she described it made it sound like she was drugged.
Interesting. Definitely worth looking into, I'd say.
Okay.
That's enough about the case for now.
Okay.
So now we go to wrap
I'm
up.
ready to wrap this case up.
Okay. Who's your prime suspect?
So it's Linda Walker.
It was Linda Walker,
Who is she?
a seamstress who befriended the Harris family nanny. She took the child because she believes he's the reincarnation of her deceased son, whom she accidentally poisoned.
My God.
You'll find a journal explaining her motive at her apartment, as well as the plants she used to drug Mrs. Davis.
But what about the broken window in the nursery?
All part of a false crime scene she set up to draw our attention away from her.
Excellent work, Miles. Did you manage to find out where Mrs. Walker is now?
Unfortunately not. She could still be in New Bretagne, but who can really say?
Well, it shouldn't be a problem. We can get a physical description of her from the nanny and put out an alert. All right, Miles. I'll go through the proper channels and report your information as an anonymous tip. Your compensation should get to you in a few days. I'll keep you posted on any new cases that come up.
Addie, are you home?
Still at her appointment, it would seem. You know, Miles, I have to say, I'm proud of you.
Why's that?
It's because you actually listened.
So does this mean you'll keep quiet until morning?
I said I was proud of you. I didn't say you were getting a reprieve.
Then I need to figure out how I'm going to sleep through the night without the soporific.
You worry about that too much, Miles. You can sleep when you're dead.
You don't ever seem to.
That's because I slept quite enough when I was alive.
In any case, I need to clear my head. The best way to do that after a case was always going for a drink at the Angel.
The Angel? But you haven't been there since...
Since you died. But perhaps getting back into old routines will help.
Perhaps. It would be nice to see old Patrick again at the very least. Then it's settled. A drink or two at the Angel, for old time's sake.
Okay.
I have to say, it's been a real pleasure having you back, Miles. I was worried about you.
I appreciate your concern, Patrick. The past few months have been a bit rough. but it's good to be back in familiar territory.
Miles, can I ask you something?
What is it?
Well, it may be none of my business, and you can feel free to tell me to stuff it.
Enough with the preamble, Patrick. Just ask.
I know you quit the force, but why are you still working as a private investigator? Why not leave all that detecting stuff behind?
I don't know how to do anything else. I'll go insane if I don't. You're right. It isn't any of your,
It's all I know. My grandfather was a cop, my father was a cop, so I became a cop. That's just how it went.
Oh, I hear ya. I come from 3 generations of butchers myself, but I broke the streak because I can't handle the sight of blood.
If only that had been true in my case.
Now then, will you be wanting another drink?
I'm not sure. I've already had 2. I should probably be getting... Wait a minute. Patrick, do you hear something?
No, Miles. I don't hear anything.
Neither do I. Another gin, if you please.
Coming right up.
aha. A little bit of liquor keeps him quiet.
I must have taken a wrong turn back there. Hopefully Addie won't hear me come in.
Shadowy figure.
Excuse me, sir. Could you spare a shilling?
You don't have to get a job. Why don't you get a job instead of,
Apologies, but I'm all out of coins. Perhaps next time.
Spent them all at the pub, didn't you? I should have guessed.
I beg your pardon?
Just look at yourself. I may be a beggar, but even I feel sorry for you.
do I know you from somewhere? It does sound familiar.
Do I know you from somewhere?
Yes, that's right. I'm your biggest failure.
What are you talking about?
Come now, Miles, you're not completely stupid. You think finding and catching me is going to make things better?
Yes, I do. I owe it to Bill, and that's enough to make it worth doing.
That's very touching. But you need to face reality. Let's say you do find me, and this grand chase finally ends. What do you do the next morning? You still have a dead partner, no real job. Your wife knows you've been keeping things from her. Even if you solve 100 cases, it won't relieve that empty feeling inside.
What's your point?
I'm all you've got, Miles. Once I'm gone, there'll be nothing left. So just admit it. You don't want to find me. Not really.
No. We do. I do.
Bad dreams?
You could say that. My head. How many drinks did I have last night?
You're asking the wrong person. I was out after the first one.
It seems Miss Maxwell was right about the effects of spirits. Go figure.
Yeah, well, let's not make a habit out of it, all right?
It's a way to sleep quietly, I guess. All right. Yeah, so that's going to do it for this week's episode. I'm hoping that they were able to catch Ms. Carter and recover the baby. So, if you like what you watched, hit that like and subscribe button down below. Tell your family, tell your friends. Have any suggestions? Put them in the comments below. I will read them. With that, I will catch you next Monday for hopefully our next case. Peace. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, check out the playlist above, or watch what YouTube tells you to on the right. Oh yeah, and subscribe.